Hey guys, Scott here. All right, just give you a little update on the project. I hit the front of the truck with some turbo tip. I didn't realize it's got a little bit too much gloss. I went with a gloss, and I thought I did gloss in the past, and it faded, but I don't remember it being this shiny. I can actually see my face in this thing. Rust-Oleum. So, turbo tip. I needed the satin finish or the semi. You can see where I got a little overspray on the door here, so it's going to be shiny. So that's a whole mess, but what am I going to do? Maybe I could redo it and then spray the whole truck with this. I don't know. Let's see what happens when it dries. But so if you notice what's going on here, I got the door open, getting some air in. Got a little too many fumes flying around. So we got the bed going in. I know what you guys are thinking. How are you going to fill your tank? Don't worry, I'm on top of it. It just so happens that this is a hole saw. I think I might have explained this once before. I got a mark there, and if you notice, it's just a little too big. It's going to touch both those strips. So that's a 4 1/4 hole saw. I need like a 3 3/4 or a 3 1/2 maybe. Something just big enough to get my hand through. I might put like a doorknob grabber and keep the cutout of this, and then just keep that as a plug, and then I'll have to put something underneath the board so it doesn't fall through, obviously. So I'm going to look into that, see what I want to do. Or do I want to make a door? Do I want to make a hinge that you'll always see and just flip it up? I don't know. It would be nice to have something decorative and permanent that they make, but I called around, and this plastic fuel cell that's in there, they don't have many things to adapt to the bed floor. It's kind of like a race application. I made a structure piece here, painted it black. It's a socket welded to a piece of square tubing. And I did that because when I stepped, I have a support here, and then I don't have another support until way down there. So it needed something else here, and that's removable. That's why I welded a socket and I put a bolt on it. This is welded and that side's welded, so there's a lot more rigidity there. Now, what I'm using here, it's a little trick of the trade. Okay, I went to the hardware store and bought a box of stainless carriage bolts. This is a carriage bolt. It's meant to have a clean cap on it, and that square actually grabs wood or metal or this composite decking so it doesn't spin when you're tightening it underneath. And I'm using nylon lock nuts underneath. And wherever I'm hitting metal, I'm putting obviously this with a washer. And then where I'm not hitting anything, out here in space, I got these flat washers, these whatever they call them, fender washers, flat washers. It grabs both boards, and then this goes through with one of these tracks, and that kind of splits the difference, and it makes the floor more of one piece. So like here, this whole strip, there's nothing underneath it. There's washers on the back biting these boards and making it more of a continuous piece. There I have them. There I have them. There I hit a cross piece. There I hit a cross piece and a cross piece. And then the front will be bolted to the metal front support. I have to bring that front of the box back slightly to meet the boards because it was pushed on the bottom. So I got to cheat that back off the cab once it's bolted down. I put some spacers between the cab and, I'll show you. And then this is the actual bed bolt. Goes through the main part of the structure of the bed. Here's the other side. See, that's where this one's going to go. So that's done. That's done. Everything's square. I have a bolt in each board is my spacing, and I'm nice and tight up against the outside. And then I'm going to still get 90-degree piece that goes down this whole line, and I'm going to bolt it wherever I can, where it's not going to show on this side. I don't want to show there, but inside the fender, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts going this way, and then 6 or 8 bolts going down. There'll be one here on this end and one all the way up there going down. So that'll give me the up and down and in and out move nice and solid. It's welded, the cross members are welded on the first 3. So it's going to be a pretty solid bed compared to what it was. It's not stock, it's not factory, this is custom. There's more boards in here than there were in a stock bed. That's why I got to order 2 extra strips. Little help, if anybody's looking for an LMC catalog and they want to get these strips, they sell them individually. So if you have a situation where one's damaged, or maybe you cut one too short, whatever you're doing, you can buy extra ones, one at a time. I think they're 13 bucks a piece, but this is a big BUT, man. It doesn't come with these squares popped in it. It's just smooth. So I'm going to have to drill it, and then I'm going to have to make some kind of a pressure jig where I could pull the head of the carriage bolt flush, where it'll kind of bend it into this shape. So it's going to be critical that I get the right size drill bit size to drill out the new piece. Like this one doesn't fit in here, right? So that if I drilled this out with that, it'll be too big. So I got to make my way up. Maybe I got to Dremel each one out. I don't know. You guys let me know if there's a die or something that I could buy that stamps those out. How else would you do it? This has to be stamped out at the factory by some kind of a heavy press. I'm sure that they sell it, but how do you not alter the metal? This outer board will then be secured. The spacing is good. And that's pretty much everything. I'll show you what I was talking about earlier here. So up front, those first 4 boards that I put down, you can see they got a little bit of a gap there. But that means that this panel's got to come this way a skosh, because I know for a fact that it was pushed in, like it kind of goes out and away towards the bottom. So I'll just put some spacers in the back here, and then I'll drill all my holes along that last run, and then put them down and bolt them through underneath. It'd be really helpful to have an extra set of hands here. It's definitely not something that you can do easily by yourself, but I'm getting it. There's a couple of spots I'm concerned about. One is where this board, okay, lands here. It's fine. It's the same seam as I got here. But on this side, there's a frame rail there. So do you drill your frame out and put these little carriage bolts through your frame where it hits the frame? Like, is that acceptable? Or do you leave them out and just grind the head off and glue it to this track as a show, just the way it looks like it's there? It's called a dummy. I've been called worse. Like some of these, might end up being self-tappers. Might be a completely different piece of hardware, you know. Maybe I could find a manufacturer that makes a similar head with an Allen key in the center and not this part, and kind of like make it look like it makes sense, and just send them in like self-tappers like I'm going to do here. Or do we just get away with just some dummy bolts there? It's not going to hurt nobody's feelings. It's sitting on the frame. This one's going to be supported. This outer one has got the least amount of support on it. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to lose that extension there. It's going to go, watch. Gone. So over here, this is a detailed explanation of something that's pretty basic, but I have a track here. I have my lowered shackle, so it comes up higher. Normally it wouldn't contact the bed floor, and it's just shy of it. I mean, there might be a quarter inch, a half an inch underneath that, if that. And then there's nothing all the way down to those cross pieces. So when I get this new side piece, I think that's going to secure the side of the board with that 90 Like, you know, you gotta see it when I do it. I'll show you. But the inside, it's gonna land with those washers. Luckily, it'll land the whole length like I've been landing them over here. So the board will be supported by this board on the right side, and it'll be supported by the 90-degree bend that I'm getting. That's gonna go the whole length on the left. So if somebody steps and jumps on this, what's gonna happen is the bed will go probably move with it, or this board is going to be hard against the frame, so I can't imagine that's going to go down. And it's supported up there and it's supported here. I think it's going to be all right. It's fine for my house. Nobody asked you, but give me your opinion. Let me know if you think I should weld a piece of this tubing along the side of this bed run, or if that's going to do the same thing as my new decorative piece that I'm getting. The decorative piece is basically this material with a flat on the back that comes up. It's a $50 piece. So I'm going to be able to screw to the bed side, and I'm going to be able to lag it, or I should say carriage bolt it to the boards. And these will be drilled directly through the board. So it's not going to be like an end board issue. This is going to be super strong here. It's going to be coming right through the board. So this is holding the bed together, so I'm sure it could hold itself up. If you guys asked me how I did this, I measured. I have a pretty good eye with measuring things, but make sure you bring your board in with the correct gap and measure off of your bolt. So what I did was I took a bolt and I measured from my center line, and I measured from here to get this hole drilled here. So make sure what you're measuring off of. This bolt was just resting here, and I measured in, and then I measured up. But if you don't account for your gap, this, whatever this is, 1/4 inch, you're going to end up missing your hole, and you're going to have to holler it out, whatever you do, wallow it out, and it's going to be cheesy, man. People are going to say, man, you should just give it up. I should give it up. I should hang it up. Remember these Danish cookies, man? I used to love getting those for Christmas, man. Imagine this barrel they came in. Dude. If you guys want to talk cookies, man, let me know. I could talk all day, man. Give me a shout. Like, share, subscribe. It is what it is. It's better than it was. The only person that's ever going to be in there is me and my son. We might be laying out under the stars with my wife, just having a car show. So there's no reason to have a 1/4 ton or 1/2 ton or whatever this truck was rated for. It's never going to be pulling a load other than a hole shot down the 1/4 mile. Good night.